Well, so cymatics would be the closest thing in a physical medium that we could use in order to visualize the material shifting and creating more coherent geometries. Some people work with salt, some people work with Sedona red rock, you know, some people work with shungite powder. Each one of these types of powdered minerals will potentially have a different impact when different frequencies are applied to them. So So this geometry is, from the plasmoid unification model, is now getting imprinted into the electromagnetic field, and the EMF mic is proving it. So, can I see someone's cell phone again? Can I see your cell phone? And then we'll just put the phone into the field. Look at that. So this is your brain. This is your brain on EMF. Don't do EMF. Just kidding. You can do it. Just, create some boundaries.
Yeah, nothing new under the sun. So, with permission of the owner, can we pass this around? Okay, yeah, so you're the one who came up with the idea. It's your responsibility if it goes missing.
It's such a special thing. And I have to thank the Matsumoto family for entrusting me with the project. Far in the universe, nuclear collapses very often take place by the gravitational force after stars consume their fuel. Since the electromagnetic force is about 40 orders stronger than the gravitational force, it should be easy to induce similar nuclear collapses by the electromagnetic force in laboratory. But we never knew until now how to do that. Recently, the author, Dr. Takaaki Matsumoto, discovered a nuclear collapse which was induced by the electromagnetic force in laboratory during studying the mechanisms of so-called cold fusion phenomena. Several kinds of nuclear reaction which were directly induced by the electromagnetic force, called electronuclear reactions, ENRs, were found so far to occur in a special state of hydrogen clusters called itonic clusters, or micro ball lightning. The nuclear collapse was one of the most remarkable reactions among ENRs, called the electronuclear collapse. Furthermore, very amazingly, completely broken materials by ENC were found to be regenerated to thin tubes and films of conventional elements such as carbon, oxygen, and iron. The latter process is called electronuclear regeneration.
So those are your crenellated spheres?
Okay, on the subject of the crenellated spheres. In several systems, if you have, at the bottom of a yin vortex, you are, in my view, at that point, you're twisting the ether in such a way that at that point, it starts to unravel matter. So in my presentation, I showed you this structure where I placed a Mars gas, which has a special component in there, which is released when you burn the gas. And that produces this magnetohydrodynamic structure, and it has a vector down to a point where there's it's a torsion field, and it has a focus where in the structure of the physical vacuum at a quanta scale on a toroidal level above, there's the interaction between that vector and the toroidal vector of the structure of the physical vacuum above, okay? And at that point, it literally unwinds matter. That's the yin pulling force. It desires to take from the environment to create life. Okay, so that is disrupting matter. Now, any matter in that position will have the hidden matter within the energy ripped from it. And this is what Nina Kalugina was doing when she was using Psi-Force, which we have the capability to use. She was able to move material around, but she was also able to stop the heart of a frog and restart the heart of a frog with her intention through her hands. And then when one of her colleagues said, well, I'm not really believing this, try and do it to me, she did it and sent him into cardiac arrest. And they had to do CPR. So that's extracting chi. And it's just sad because there's two horrendous weapons that are possible with this technology that almost certainly have been developed. And you don't know it's even possible, but in certain circles, it's just accepted as part of things you can do, right? So it's able to extract that. And what happens when you extract that hidden energy within the matter? The electrons just fall off and the matter starts disassembling. And it disassembles in the most, in my view, most stable nucleon clusters. So it disassembles into protons, helium alpha particles, and carbon. So because you're changing the distortion of the physical vacuum, and all energy comes from a difference in change in the distortion of the physical vacuum. It doesn't matter whether it's chemical energy or nuclear energy. Okay, but I can tell you our experiment called Ultra Experiment, it's highly well defined. A 3-year-old can learn to conduct it and do the experiment within 7 minutes. It works 100% of the time if you follow the instructions, and you get lighter and heavier elements, and I wasn't blown up. It's called the least action process, right? So the yang side, that's the brighter light in your Masonic temples. You had the sun force in all of the ancient religions, right? The swastika, right? That disassembles and unwinds the trapped light, okay? Then it can be unwound in such that the connection between the clusters in the particular nucleus fall apart based on their strength of binding. Okay. Then it goes through a wormhole, which is in page 91 in Matsumoto's book, which he worked out from 11 years of his research. Okay. Goes through the wormhole, comes through to the yin. So the yang is disassembling matter. It goes through a wormhole. It's not interacting with any matter. This is literally able to go through all of the matter you can possibly imagine without interaction.
And the wormhole connects the center of the yin to the center of the yang?
Yes. You getting it? And on the other side, on the yin, it assembles matter. So there, in this particular experiment, which I think ran for 90 seconds or 300 seconds, one or the other, on that particular side, you don't want to run it long because it gets confused. This is confused, right? There's lots of things that went on all over the place over and over and over again. So it ends up being homogeneous. It just looks like rock. Okay, so it comes around the other side, and on that side, inside the Vesica Pisces, inside the golden ratio line, there is exactly a 2-arm spiral galaxy structure, which was replicated by other parties. And inside those places, but it's not that the Magatarm is up here and then the other side it's down there. It is the 69. It is the yin-yang, even at that level. It literally looks like a 6 and a 9. On that side, there was calcium and no boron. So if it's a contamination in the system and both vortexes are the same, you should see calcium and boron here and calcium and boron here, but you don't. You see boron here with no calcium, which is aluminium minus oxygen, and over here you see aluminium plus oxygen, which is some isotopes of calcium in the absence of boron, and that is the yin side, the creative force in the universe. You literally cannot have a universe which does not have yin and yang. And because it's fractal, every yang has a yin and a yang, and every yin has a yang and a yin. Okay, there's female in all of us, and there's male in all of us. Get over it.
All right, thank you.
Okay. So, the least action process defines that you are reorganizing the nucleons in a way that doesn't involve the Coulomb barrier. It's irrelevant. Forget about it. Right? Forget about it. And it comes around the other side. And so you're taking apart matter. That has energy. It's captured and it's released in the reorganization of the matter on the other side. There might be a net-net.
Characteristics of ball lightning, you find them in crop circles, and you'll find them at comet sort of impacts where there's the same multi-axis shear, and they're producing these things. So they're concurrent, with everything else.
So can I finish the question? So I was wondering, is it
Hello, everyone. I'm the benefactor, and this is Beneficence TV, dedicated to providing you solid entertainment while keeping you informed. We are a progressive media outlet with the focus on providing thought-provoking content on forbidden knowledge regarding topics such as Marxism, plasmoids, zero-point energy, vortex-based math, and anti-gravitics. Our aim is to combat the spread of dangerous misinformation and to educate on these intriguing and unconventional areas of study while separating fact from fiction. Join us on our journey of discovery and challenge conventional thinking here on Beneficence TV.
Welcome back, everybody, to Beneficence TV. I have an exciting update for you on my research with the Rodin coil. As usual, you can follow along in my presentation in the link in the description. Well, my beef with Ashton specifically isn't about his work with the Malaysian flight. I have to say, credit where credit's due, that was actually pretty good research. My problem with him is it seems like he's tracing a viral trend, and he shuts out criticism. So I'm not going to delve further into that because I don't want to trash talk anybody, but suffice it to say, he does not sit well with me. You and I, yeah, no, not again, not to say that his work with the Malaysian flight wasn't good. I respected him for that for a while, and then something happened, and I'm not going to go into it. So you can follow along with our presentation. Let's pop it up here. There it is. Sometimes it takes a second to pop it up. How you doing, everybody? How you doing, Misunderstood? Been an Ador. We got the Benz in the house. So, I had a couple of insights regarding the roadblocks that I've been trying to get around regarding the Nunez method and magnetic synchronicity. So, first, I'll go into my insights regarding magnetic synchronicity and how I can possibly achieve it. So, I asked Chat AI because I was completely stuck. And whenever I get a question like this that is going against conventional science, I recommend Deep AI. I just type in Google search Chat AI. It's usually the first thing that pops up, instead of ChatGPT, because ChatGPT will fight you. That Chat AI will fight you on these things. So I find Deep AI is a little bit more open. Although always be careful, because these Chat AIs sometimes give you false information or can be misleading. But here's what it gave me on the idea of using glass instead of plastic for the magnetic synchronicity test. And I had a theory that maybe the glass was needed because all the videos we see of people achieving this use glass. And I was hesitant to because I didn't have the proper PPE, but I have gloves here we can use. Anyways, it gave me this. The concept you're referring to is often called ether resonance, or ether amplification theory, which suggests that certain materials, including glass, can amplify or resonate with a hypothetical entity known as aether or ether. This idea has its roots in the 19th century and was popularized by certain spiritualists and occultists. The idea of aether is rooted in the understanding of light and electromagnetic waves at that time. In the 19th century, scientists like James Clerk Maxwell and Heinrich Hertz discovered that light was an electromagnetic wave, which led to the idea that there must be a medium or substance that carried these waves, known as the ether. However, as further research showed, ether-like properties were not found, and the concept was eventually abandoned. Now we know that they only tested one concept of the, or theory of the ether. They didn't test all of them. So that's worth noting here. And also, I believe it was Tesla who said that light is just sound waves in the ether. So Tesla himself, all the legends of the technology that we use today, believed in this superfluid, or this fluid known as the ether. In the early 20th century, some spiritualists and occultists began to revive the idea of the ether as a mysterious, invisible substance that could be harnessed for various purposes. They claimed that certain materials, including glass, could amplify or resonate with this ether energy. The specific claims about glass is that it can amplify ether energy due to its unique molecular structure. According to this theory, glass is said to have a natural resonant frequency that it aligns with the frequency of the ether, allowing it to amplify and store this energy. This supposed property was believed to enable glass to perform various functions such as energy storage, energy transmission, and energy manipulation. All right, so we are going to get set up for the lab here in a little bit after I finish this presentation and test a couple of these insights that I've had regarding magnetic synchronicity, and you'll see in here in a second my insights regarding how to achieve the Nunez method, the open circuit method that I have not been able to achieve yet. So let's go into that. I updated the Rodin coil guide, which is also linked in the description. This is an excerpt from the Rodin coil guide that I will read to you. Pretty much explains everything that happened and my theory that what I think is going on and what we're going to test later. My theory at this time is that, by accident, during the manufacturing process, I forgot to disconnect a set of wires from channel, well, technically it's channel B. No, from channel A to equal out broken wire in channel B. Microfractures in the manufacturing process, twisting the wire too much perhaps, might have caused the wire to not maintain its electrical continuity. When you put the multimeter up to the wire, in other words, it didn't beep when you test for continuity, meaning the electrical signal's not going all the way through, something to do with the twisting, and maybe I twisted it too much, the bundle. Anyways, I tested this hypothesis by switching the inputs and outputs of channel A and channel B of the coil. The load connected to A instead of B. A simple test. And this all but confirms my theory. To be 100% sure, I have to risk opening up the sealed bundle of wires. And I'm hesitant to do that because I only have one coil, but we will try to do that today because I'm very curious to see if this is what's going on. I'm 95% sure. But the multimeter switched to step down the voltage, and I suspect while maintaining the current while in resonance. The tone generator, I compared 1 kilohertz to 20 hertz, resonance versus non-resonance, which loses way more voltage on the output when it's not in resonance. I will be able to confirm this once I get more fuses for my multimeter. I will also be doing some tests to see what milliamp the output fuse blows at compared to input. If it is cold electricity, then it should be colder than the fuse is expecting it to be. We will also be doing this with a light bulb. That was Mike's idea. Shout out to Mike, he's been helping me with this project, and I owe a great deal of credit to my progress, to Mike and Lulu. Anyways, I think I have inadvertently stumbled upon the transformer design for the Rodin coil. This makes sense, why I can only get the over unity to effect to happen when I have the connections set up for induction, meaning A and B are separated. And the Nunez method uses the open circuit method, which has one input in A from the tone generator and one input, the return, in channel B, and they're connected by the load. So my theory is, because of this, we are not even in our load distribution. Remember, it's all about geometry and symmetry. If we have asymmetry preventing 10 times multiplication of the output voltage, then we can't achieve this. And it's my belief that if this is what's happening, this would create two resonant frequencies for the coil bundle, which is what we don't want. We want that bundle to have one resonant frequency. We want to resonate together, right? We don't want it to resonate at two different frequencies. And this, I think, is my problem. And this could be why my coil resonates at a different lower frequency, 1 kilohertz, compared to what Daniel demonstrates. You see in some of his videos, it's around 2 kilohertz to 20, anywhere from 2 to, I think, 124 kilohertz I've seen in one video, but a lot higher than the range that I'm using. So that's just my theory for the Nunez method. And this open circuit method allows the system to maximize its optimization by allowing the coil to absorb more resonance. We have our cavity even and symmetrical between the two channels of counter-rotating energy. So, and this is all updated in my Rodin coil guide. And my magnetic synchronicity, I updated that as well. Basically, I believe based on the research theories of the aether that perhaps the plastic is not the material we would need to produce magnetic synchronicity between the Rodin coil field and the neodymium sphere. This explains why all the videos I've seen of this effect use a glass cup. Apparently, there's a theory that glass is able to amplify aether energy more like an antenna than the plastic inside the cup I was using. Could this be plasmoid clusters residing in the sphere? Further testing will confirm or deny this. I don't know. So what do you guys think? I'm going to get set up here to start testing these theories in a minute. This is actually a very exciting day for me because since I know the system can produce over unity, and I have a pretty solid theory why we're not being able to achieve the 10 times voltage multiplication over unity effect as seen in the Nunez method, I think we might be able to crack this tonight. Both of them. Both of them, hopefully. We're on a hope and a prayer here, guys. Let me go to a quick intermission, and I'll get set up. Get start testing.
With this design, there is a slight smell of burnt air, but almost no sense of carbon. Please. And now a beneficent fact. Did you know that Isaac Newton, one of the most famous scientists in history, spent more time studying alchemy and number symbolism than modern science? This interest in alchemy started during his childhood when he was boarding in the attic of an apothecary's shop. However, much of his writings on alchemy may have been lost in a fire in his laboratory, leaving the true extent of his work in this area unknown. Newton even suffered a nervous breakdown during his period of alchemical work. Alchemy has been largely ridiculed and dismissed as pseudoscience, and its practitioners were often labeled as charlatans or fraudsters. However, recent scholarship has shown that alchemists made significant contributions to science and medicine, including the discovery of elements and the development of pharmaceutical drugs. Alchemy's focus on the transformation of matter and the study of the universe's hidden potential remains relevant today, and its earlier practitioners deserve a serious re-evaluation of their work. For more videos like this, subscribe to our YouTube and TikTok channels.
So what we're going to do is we're going to unbundle this bundle of wire at the top, the black tape there, and we're going to check and see if my theory is correct. And if it is, we're going to take one wire set from channel A and disconnect it, and rebundle the wire and test the Nunez method. Yep, it's exactly what I thought. We have confirmed the problem here is my dumb butt forgot to unhook one line of series to balance out the two coils. Oh, wow. Thank you for the $2. Thank you. Let's hear it for Hopefully Rich. Spreading the love. I love it. All right. So we are onto something here, guys. This is big news. This means just by unhooking one of those lines of wire series there and then running the coil again, we might be able to achieve the Nunez method, which maintains current and times the voltage by 10. Holy crap. We are ready to begin testing momentarily. First, I'll be testing the Nunez method. If I'm not successful, I might unhook or rehook the channel I just unhooked and continue with the magnetic synchronicity test as it was hooked up before. But if it does prove successful, I'll continue with the magnetic synchronicity test using this new 11 to 11 channel setup. Alright, for those of you who have just joined us, I have just discovered and confirmed my theory by opening the bundle of wires there that I did indeed forget to unhook one line of series of wires from channel A. So we're going to continue testing with the new 11 to 11 instead of the 12 to 11, which would step up the voltage because fewer winds increases the voltage because there's less conductor for the material to go. You got the same flow, and it's forced into a smaller material. It's going to increase or step up the voltage, from what I understand at least. So essentially this coil before was acting as a transformer, but it wasn't just transforming or stepping up the voltage, it was doubling the current as well. As you can see in our over unity chart here. Nope, that way. This over unity chart is the frequencies we've been testing. That's the resonance range. As you can see, 800 or below 800, you get out of that range, and above 1800 hertz, you get out of that range as well. So, as you can see from our chart here, it's not only doubling the voltage as the transformer setup, it's doubling the current as well, which is absolutely insane. So right now I'm following the Nunez open circuit method, and you can see it in this diagram right here. As you can see, the coil is only powered by the load is only the electricity is only connected by the load. So that means there's no direct connect path for the positive to flow to the negative. All right, everything's hooked up. We are ready to begin testing the Nunez method with the proper symmetrical one-to-one ratio coil design. That means channel A and channel B both have the same number of winds. In this case, they're 11 instead of 12 because of, as I stated earlier, there are microfractures, assuming in the manufacturing process that destroyed one of the wires. So I had to even it out. I'm going to start by turning on the tone generator, putting the stereo receiver on, then turning on the tone generator and putting it at around 20 hertz. And then I'm going to increase it maybe 100 hertz at a time until we get to our original resonance range of 1K, I believe it was. And I'm assuming it's going to be maybe a little bit lower than that because there's more material, but we'll see. So, just a quick update on what's going on here. I just disconnected one of the lines of wires in series with channel A to even out channel A and channel B. Now, what happened when I did this was that it wasn't powering the load, but the multimeters were picking up voltage on the input and the output. It was in the millivolts, but it was picking up, I think it was about 20 millivolts on the input, and I had about 17 millivolts on the output. But it seemed like that was just the start of a range that it wanted to do something, because most of that range from 1,000 to 20,000 hertz, which what I ended at, which is the limit of my tone generator, it didn't do anything on the output. There was a tiny bit of voltage on the input, and it was just 0. And that's how you know it's way out. It's detuned, is what it is in that range. And as you go up the frequencies, you'll see, like, every once in a while it'll go from 0 to something lower on the output, something usable. So the fact that it wasn't powering the load, though, tells me one thing. I still don't have it configured correctly. And now I'm wondering, because the circuit actually has, let's pull up the circuit here. Let's take a look at this diagram. Man, I've got a lot of stuff in here now. Holy crap, this is a treasure trove of anybody wanting to do this. I highly suggest somebody, even if you don't intend to, just back this up for me. It's over here at the bottom. Oh, there it is. Okay, so it doesn't actually show it on the professional looking one here, but if I scroll down to the hand-drawn one, it says right and left. I'm thinking now, because I had both the black and red speaker wires that go to the input of the coil from the stereo output, I had them all going from the left. The left has a positive and a negative, and the right has a positive and a negative terminal. I had them all on the left. I'm wondering now if I completely misread this source and overlooked this left and right on the side here. Maybe that's what's actually going to be able to power the load. Let's try it, because I'm out of ideas at this point. If this doesn't work, literally the only thing that worked was the asymmetrical transformer configuration, and we were still getting significant increases on energy output, 155 if you look at our diagram. So I just did a quick preliminary test there, and here, let me move this. What I don't think you saw it, but what happened was I was testing to see if the input motor would even run with one in left and one in right. Right now I have the positive in the positive of the left, channel B, output of the stereo, and the negative speaker wire hooked up to the negative of the right speaker output of channel B on the stereo. So this actually proves that you can actually power the system this way with one in left and one in right speaker. So let's do that. Okay, so interesting development. We did not reach resonance, but it is powering the load. It's just very, very small microvolts. Or is it a millivolt? I think it's millivolt. But either way, it is very, very minute. But you can see when I crank it up all the way, there's a little bit of power in the LEDs. So we are getting current on the output side. We're just not within resonance. And I think all the indications tell me that that resonance is above 20K, which aligns with Daniel Nunez's research. So this is very exciting. I think we finally cracked the Rodin coil Nunez method here. In a moment, we're going to move on to magnetic synchronicity. This is going to be very exciting as well because recent developments and insights have led me to believe that we need a glass container for the neodymium sphere in order to amplify the ether energy and allow it to synchronize in spin outside of its affected vortex area. But in sight of this recent development, we will be taking a short break. So now will be a good time to go to the bathroom, grab your popcorn, and prepare for the next set of tests.
And now a beneficent fact. Did you know that Isaac Newton, one of the most famous scientists in history, spent more time studying alchemy and number symbolism than modern science? This interest in alchemy started during his childhood when he was boarding in the attic of an apothecary's shop. However, much of his writings on alchemy may have been lost in a fire in his laboratory, leaving the true extent of his work in this area unknown. Newton even suffered a nervous breakdown during his period of alchemical work. Alchemy has been largely ridiculed and dismissed as pseudoscience, and its practitioners were often labeled as charlatans or fraudsters. However, recent scholarship has shown that alchemists made significant contributions to science and medicine, including the discovery of elements and the development of pharmaceutical drugs. Alchemy's focus on the transformation of matter and the study of the universe's hidden potential remains relevant today, and its earlier practitioners deserve a serious re-evaluation of their work. For more videos like this, subscribe to our YouTube and TikTok channels. Throughout modern history, there have been visionaries who dared to dream beyond the boundaries of conventional science. Inventors who sought to unlock the mysteries of alternative propulsion, anti-gravitics, and the enigma of over-unity energy. Yet, their stories remain shrouded in shadow. Many of these pioneers, their voices silenced, their visions extinguished. Some vanished into obscurity, while others paid the ultimate price. Suppression, it seems, has been a constant companion to innovation. But recently, there's been a glimmer of hope. A new generation of self-taught, open-minded, and independent scientists has emerged. A collective effort to combat the forces that seek to keep humanity in the dark. People like Marco Rodin, whose rediscovery of vortex-based mathematics is nothing short of mind-bending. They pushed the boundaries of mathematical understanding, opening doors to a new realm of possibilities by describing numbers as physical stationary interstitiary vectors in space-time whose values don't change. Unlike traditional mathematics, where numbers change while functions remain constant, this paradigm shift recognizes that in reality, functions themselves can represent the changing variables, opening doors to a new understanding of mathematical relationships. And then there's Malcolm Bendall, a man with a vision that defies convention. He introduced the plasmoid unified model, a concept that calculates the resonant frequencies of everything from the elements to colors, shapes, and even polarized cardinal directions. But Bendall didn't stop at theory. He applied his unified field theory to a revolutionary concept, converting mass into clean energy. His ingenious design mimics nature's use of plasma, producing colossal amounts of pristine energy. Bendall's vision goes beyond energy. It's about reshaping our understanding of the world and harnessing the very forces of nature to propel us into a new era. As Tesla was once accredited as saying, "Throughout space there is energy. Is this energy static or kinetic? If static, our hopes are in vain. If kinetic, and this we know it is for certain, then it's a mere question of time when men will succeed in attaching their machinery to the very wheelwork of nature." In the shadows of suppressed technology, these visionaries are opening doors to a brighter, more sustainable future. The plasmoid engine, a symbol of hope, innovation, and the relentless pursuit of the unknown. Join us as we delve deeper into the mysteries of plasmoids and the brave souls who dare to challenge the status quo. Here on Divine Science. Stay tuned for our brand new show. For more videos on consciousness, zero-point energy, and other forms of forbidden knowledge, like and subscribe to my YouTube and TikTok channels. What are you waiting for? Take the red pill and arm yourself with forbidden knowledge. Subscribe today. For hundreds, if not thousands of years, the Akashic Record has been a mystery that many cultures around the world have participated in solving. The earliest known references to the concept of an Akashic Record can be traced back to Hindu and Buddhist teachings, which date as far back as 1500 BCE. The term Akashic Records comes from the Sanskrit word akasha, meaning ether or atmosphere. In Hinduism and Buddhism, it refers to a cosmic or universal consciousness. The concept of a cosmic library or record-keeping system has also been present in ancient Egyptian and Greek philosophy. The Akashic Records are a concept that suggests everything that has ever happened or will happen is stored in an ethereal library. In Egyptian culture, there are symbols that represent important ideas and concepts, such as the Eye of Horus or the Ankh. The Akashic Records can be depicted as a library or book, while the Eye of Horus or the Ankh can be included to represent Egyptian culture. When combined, these symbols can represent the idea of a connection between Egyptian culture and the Akashic Records. Does the key to unlocking the mysteries of the Akashic Records lie within the enigmatic symbols and stories of ancient Egyptian civilization, waiting to be deciphered by those who seek to understand the secrets of the universe?
Go on. There's an infinite number of dimensions, and I was born with the ability to access all of them.
You must have been a fun kid to babysit.
Some differ from ours in the smallest way. Others couldn't be more different.
This cosmic memory, or universal consciousness, that contains all knowledge and information has been present in various forms and cultures throughout history, including ancient Egyptian and Greek philosophy. Despite its long history, the Akashic Records continue to intrigue and fascinate people today, with many spiritual and metaphysical practitioners exploring the concept in depth in order to gain a deeper understanding of consciousness and the universe. But what if this cosmic consciousness was an energy that permeates all of existence, linearly? The highest form of energy in the universe. What Marco Rodin described in his visions, zero-point energy. It exists in every possible parallel universe.
although completely invisible to the naked eye. A virtual universe of electromagnetic waves permeates our entire world.
However, according to Roger Penrose, these universes are not infinite. Though they do potentially contain a multitude of different forms of knowledge and wisdom.
What's important is that each dimension has something unique and valuable. Shakespeare's we've never read. Technologies beyond our understanding. New ways of thinking. Philosophies of peace. All our problems, famine, war, climate change, cancer, have been solved somewhere else.
The concept of a universal encyclopedia isn't just one for mystics and philosophers. Scientists and innovators alike have claimed to only make their groundbreaking discoveries through visions, moments of intense focus and clarity, where these visionaries claim to actually be receiving data rather than creating it. This energy, since it exists in every universe simultaneously, and since time is a construct that we create and is not actually happening linearly, can contain a multitude of knowledge. From Tesla to Einstein, many visionaries and innovators have utilized this universal encyclopedia. Both Nikola Tesla and Albert Einstein were known for their periods of deep contemplation and thought. According to various reports, Tesla would often retreat to a solitary room in his laboratory, where he would spend hours or even days thinking and working out complex problems. Einstein, on the other hand, was known to take long walks in nature and meditate on the mysteries of the universe. He believed that his best ideas came to him during these periods of quiet introspection and contemplation. Both men valued the power of focused thought and believed that it was essential for unlocking new breakthroughs and discoveries. One could theorize that Tesla and Einstein were engaging in forms of meditation, even if they didn't necessarily label it as such. Meditation is a broad term that can describe any practice that helps to focus and calm the mind, including sitting quietly, breathing exercises, visualization, and more. Both Tesla and Einstein were known for their ability to concentrate deeply on their work and to enter a state of flow where they were completely absorbed in what they were doing. This type of focused attention is similar to what one might experience during meditation, where the mind is trained to quiet distractions and focus on a single point of attention. Additionally, the act of spending time alone, away from the distractions of the outside world, is another common component of meditation, and both Tesla and Einstein took time to retreat and focus their minds in this way. Perhaps meditation is allowing us to pull the veils of reality from our eyes, pulling back the curtains on the world stage. It's been known that psychedelic experiences induce higher states of consciousness. This has been proven by the
All right, what you were just watching was part 2 of my Parallel Worlds Theory series. If you'd like to watch the full series, part 1 and part 2 is available on a playlist on my channel. So, if you're just joining us, we're getting ready to test my new method for magnetic synchronicity. We're going to use a neodymium sphere. Here, I'll grab it. This is the neodymium sphere we will be using for this test. It is very powerful. Now, originally, we were using this plastic cup for our neodymium sphere magnetic synchronicity test. And if you watch some of the videos of people who have actually achieved this, like Jack Schulze, who's working with Randy Powell on trying to convert VBM into a practical design, and others like Daniel Nunez, who have achieved magnetic synchronicity, they do not use plastic. They use a glass, like a shot glass. This might be a little bit too small, but it's all I have for now. We're just going to do a quick test, see what happens. We're going to test and see if the sphere reacts to the magnetic field outside of the vortex, where the magnetic field is supposed to be condensed and contained, which shouldn't happen. But if this coil is working the way it's supposed to, theoretically, it should be able to synchronize when you put the sphere in the vortex for a little bit and then pop it out of the vortex. It should be able to still spin. And supposedly, you can walk like 15 feet and it'll still be spinning. So we're going to test that. I'm going to wear my PPE. See, I got safety glasses and a helmet. So professionals, if you try this at home, please be safe. Use your PPE, because Daniel Nunez notes that this glass will chip. As you'll see, I put on 2 pairs of gloves, protective gloves for my hands in case it starts chipping. We're just going to see how it reacts. And my theory on why this happens is maybe plasmoid clusters are being formed in the vortex. And when you put the sphere in the vortex, the magnetic fields synchronize and the plasmoids kind of embed themselves maybe into the sphere. I don't know. It's just a theory. Could be wrong. I'm going to put the mic closer and leave it on so you can hear what's going on. Might be a little quiet, so bear with me. Now for this test, we're going to be using square waveform because it produces the strongest effect. We are going to be using 7 hertz, this close to the resonant Schumann range. It's like 7.2 or 4 or something like that. If we don't get our achieved effect with 7 hertz, I'm going to try to find on YouTube a 7, like an exact Schumann resonance. So we'll be testing those 2 frequencies. And if that doesn't work, we'll just run through a bunch of low-end frequencies. As you can see, it's starting to work. So the voltage increased from nothing to 0.4. Nothing on the output, obviously, because we're using the low-end frequency range. doesn't look like we're getting the magnetic field at that range, I'm going to try to rewire the unhooked wire from channel A and uneven it, make it asymmetrical again, and see if that works. There we go. Spinning now. That is odd. It's not spinning anymore. Spinning now. There we go. Okay. Oh, here we go. A little bit. It's affecting it a lot closer than it usually should, or it would. Let's turn it up a little bit. Oh, it just crashed. I'm about to hook up the second channel and see what happens. See if it increases in strength. Ooh, we crashed again. I think we're close. I think we're close to this one. So let's try a couple other resonant frequencies. See if we can find the Schumann resonance. it's 7.83. I gotta hear what this sounds like. I wonder if it's just a pure waveform or if it's actually a tone. No, that's not the. What is this crap? I just want the pure waveform. There it is. Oh wow, I could feel it vibrating now. Holy crap! Wow, that's strong. What the heck? Wow. Oh, it just kicked off. It was vibrating like, whoa. It wasn't spinning though. That's the wild thing. It was like, I can't explain it. It was just vibrating, and when it started vibrating, the vibration went through my whole hand. Wow. It felt good. Wow, that was cool. Oh, oh my god, that is so neat. Oh, oh, it's gonna spin. It's like going back and forth, like it wants to. Oh, oh. Come on, baby. A little bit more power. Ooh. What the heck? It turned on the motor because it was spinning. Holy crap. What? It induced current. And it shut off. Oh, wow. That was so cool. I wish I had better equipment for you guys. I wish you could see this close up. This is really neat. It started spinning. Like I gave it a little push, and before it shut down, it made a lot of voltage. It induced a lot of current on this side. You saw the fan, the lights. Oh my! What? What? Oh my God, that was cool. Come on, baby, do it again. Come on. I gotta give it a little push. can see as I spin it, it's starting to light up a little bit more. It's flashing every time I spin it. But it caught it for just a second before it shut down. It caught it, and it induced a hell of a lot of current. Wow. It shut down the... Oh my god, this is insane. It's still going back and forth like it wants to half rotate and almost make it on its own. Oh, come on. Come on. This is so wild. I wish I had better cameras for you guys. This is so wild. It's like going back and forth and trying to make it around in a full rotation. This is so crazy. Let's see if I can. It's like going back and forth, like rocking. Like it wants to. And then when it does, there's a whole bunch of current that is induced. Yeah. I know. Oh, auto shut off. Nice. Very nice. It's still going. Oh. And the fan's spinning now. See the fan spinning now? It's not even making a full rotation. It's just going back and forth a little bit. Kind of vibrating almost. This is so weird. Oh. I can feel it. Listen, I can feel it vibrating right here. I've never been able to detect a magnetic field except when I put a detector inside the vortex. But I can feel it vibrating right here. I can hear it. Listen. sound might be me vibrating the cup, but still, it's unreal. You can clearly feel it vibrating right here, and it shouldn't have any effect. Oh, and it just shut down because the voltage is slowly increasing or something. I didn't catch it. I'll have to look at the footage and review it afterwards, but this is really cool. Let's try a little bit lower frequency. Four hertz. Let's try 4 hertz. See, I'm not getting any of the vibration. No vibration. None at all. Yeah, there's nothing going in. Oh, I don't have it on. Haha. Okay. There we go. Still no vibration. It's got something going in now. Okay, a little bit. Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh wow. It's shaking. Look at it shaking. It's dancing for us now. Look at this. Okay. I think we got the most useful effect at the Schumann resonance, which is most interesting. Let's put it back to 7 hertz and see if it does that same effect by generating the current. Put it at 7. Just real quick to see. Oh, wow. It's not generating any current, though. I mean, a tiny bit, but no. It's shaking a lot more violently. So that's interesting. So what we see here is we see the neodymium sphere shaking in the glass more violently back and forth at just straight up 7 hertz clean wave. I'm just using YouTube to generate the wave for now because I can't, with my waveform, generate under 20 hertz. So the glass does seem to magnify or amplify the energy that that's interacting here. It's wild because you put your you switch it to the Schumann resonance, which is, I guess, 7.83, the resonance of the magnetic field of Earth. You get this weird vibration effect outside of the vortex. I think this is the resonance that is needed to fully achieve magnetic synchronicity between the electromagnetic field generated by the coil and the field generated by the neodymium sphere. And when they fully synchronize, I should be able to take that sphere outside of the vortex and have it keep on spinning. There wasn't enough power in this stereo to make it get to that point. You see it like rocking back and forth, like it was right on the edge and wanted to get there, but it wasn't quite powerful enough, or didn't have quite enough input power to do that. I think we're really onto something. In both cases, I think we've had breakthroughs in the Nunez method and magnetic synchronicity. This is amazing. It's blowing my mind right now, and I'm glad that you guys are here to witness this. It's absolutely incredible. And I've not seen a single person document and explain magnetic synchronicity on the internet. I think this is a first, except for First Stop Energies, whose videos are all taken down. So, this is, if that's true, this is a very, very important video to be up here right now, because we are experiencing science in real time We are breaking down and trying to understand this Rodin coil. And at the same time, we're open sourcing all the information so we understand how the science works. I don't fully understand it, but I'm beginning to paint a picture by talking to different engineers. And this is very cool. I should be able to update the Rodin coil guide to reflect this and help others achieve magnetic synchronicity in their tests. For now, since I'm only getting the over unity effect, the effect that I want to get with the configuration of asymmetry, the transformer configuration, I'm probably going to leave the configuration at a 12 to 11 wire asymmetry, just because that's the most practical effect that I found right now. But I will be doing some tests in the future to go past 20 kilohertz. And I believe past 20 kilohertz is the range that is needed to achieve the resonance for the Nunez method. There's a lot going on here, a lot of exciting stuff happening. We're going to take a short break, and then I'm going to end with my closing thoughts. Thank you.
For hundreds, if not thousands of years, the Akashic record has been a mystery that many cultures around the world have participated in. One of the most famous scientists in history, the earliest spent more time studying alchemy and number symbolism than modern science, can be traced back to Hindu and
All right, so we've had some interesting results today. Very fascinating. I think we've had a couple of breakthroughs in the last couple of days to point us on the right direction on how to solve these two roadblocks in my research. Those roadblocks being A, I cannot achieve the 10 times voltage output over unity effect that Daniel Nunez has achieved and with the Nunez method open circuit. And B, I have not yet achieved true magnetic synchronicity. But we have had two important key breakthroughs here today that actually indicate we can achieve those two things 100% if we use the right methods to do so. So in the case of the Nunez method open circuit, which is a circuit that is connected by the load, which if you look at the circuit, let's see if I can pull it up here. So if you look at the Nunez method here, it is the circuit on the right. It is an open circuit, which is very unconventional. It is only connected through the load. You can see the more professional diagram here. And they're recommending 12 to 18 kilohertz, but mine might be higher because I think my coil is a little bit smaller than the coil that he was using. So if that's true, that's going to be higher than 18 kilohertz. I mean, I've seen in his videos him use anything from 12 hertz all the way up to, I think, 124 kilohertz. So there's a lot of room to play there. Unfortunately, my tone generator does not allow me to go past the 20 kilohertz range. That's my limit right now. So right now I'm trying to figure out how to do this circuit with a battery and my laptop outputting the tone, because I can generate tones higher than 20 kilohertz with my laptop. I believe the program I have enables that. So oh yeah, and again, this if you're trying this, please be aware that at these higher voltages it can produce ozone. And I think I was like, when I was spinning that magnet, I swear I started to smell a little stale atmosphere, which is an indicator of ozone. So do be careful. I will be getting an ozone detector very soon because I need to be safe with this stuff. We weren't quite sure exactly what voltage these coils start outputting ozone. It's just the Nunez is just note high voltage is when it starts. So just be aware, high voltage in the case of the Rodin coil could mean lower voltages than traditional, because again, these coils have the ability to light high wattage equipment at low voltage. So there's plasma LEDs that Daniel Nunez lights up in his videos that require like I don't know, like 40 volts or something like that. And he lights them up with like 10 volts or 20 volts, like a lower amount of voltage than would normally be required to ignite that plasma LED. So we have the Nunez circuit here, and the thing is, this is the interesting thing, because when I first hooked up the Nunez method, I was using asymmetry, and I didn't get any indication that it was powering the load. Now, back then, I didn't have these good multimeters like I do now. They were just reading 0. They could have been getting a slight amount of millivolts, I believe it's called. So I traditionally was measuring volts, but as it turns out, I might have been getting a small amount of current, and I was. When I disconnected the wire set from channel A and made it symmetrical, 11 to 11 wires, to test the Nunez method, I discovered that it was actually outputting a small amount of current. The problem is that I assumed that at those higher, because as you increase the frequency, the voltage just significantly drops. And with the older multimeters, I just couldn't read them. The new ones, I can read them, and there is still voltage, there's still current going through there. Well, technically I can't read the amperage, but I'm assuming there is, because it is powering the back end and front end of my circuitry. So I did notice a slight glow when I kicked it up to 20 kilohertz, and only when I kicked it up to 20 kilohertz was the output actually showing an indication of having powering the load. It was just in the millivolts range, so I previously couldn't read it. And the limiting factor, I think, now is the tone generator. I believe, and this is my theory, that if we kick it up a notch beyond 20 kilohertz, we can find the resonant frequency of this method. And if that's true, that means A, we can increase the voltage by 10 times while maintaining the current, and B, I inadvertently stumbled upon the transformer configuration of the coil and successfully have documented how to replicate that. So again, it's up to you, independent researchers, to try to replicate this. I am right now in the process of trying to roll out phase 2 testing for this Rodin coil system. Phase 2 testing will include a battery instead of the traditional stereo. The stereo receiver acts as a battery, a supply of power, and also a tone generator input, which I use my phone for. But phase 2 of testing will roll this system out onto a battery operated system because, again, with the asymmetrical configuration, the transformer configuration of 12 to 11 wires for channel A to channel B, we can actually step up voltage and step up current, which is phenomenal. That's something that is extremely useful, especially if you're doing any kind of like long distance transmission of energy on a wire. That you put one of these things in the middle and it just doubles the current along with the voltage, and you don't see any any loss because it's running at 155% efficiency. I don't know where my talk rooms. Oh, there we go. So we've had a lot of great things happen today. I'm glad that we've documented all this and we've straightened out a couple of the questions I've had, the really important questions about this system regarding how to implement it into phase 2 and potentially phase 3 of testing. So stay tuned for that. There's going to be a lot more to come. Thank you for joining me on this stream, and have a good evening. Many blessings.